Hey everyone, Once Bitten here. So I'm interrupting my sequence of battle reports for the last weekend's tournament to bring you some information and some kind of behind the scenes sneak peeks at one of the companies that's creating miniatures for the Ninth Age. Tabletop Miniature Solutions. If you watch my channel at all, you've probably heard of them. I consider them a supporter of the channel because he sends me models that I can paint up and provide my viewers in my free giveaways. So I did a Bretonnian or a Kingdom of Equitaine Duke on Hippogriff that I painted up and sent to a subscriber of the channel. And he has a package that should be getting to me any day now with more models that I can paint in any time in the near future. So when I can find the time to paint them every 2 or 3 months, that's how I do my free giveaways. It's hard enough to justify the time to paint these things. It's even more so to justify spending money on models to give away. So anyway, one of the problems I have with my Kingdom of Equitaine army is I've been painting it over about a decade now, and the models that I painted a long time ago I'm not really happy with anymore. I'm probably going to start swapping out with newer models, and I'm so excited to have a new product line that I can use to replace those models with. And after looking at the artwork behind the models that are going to be created, I got really, really excited. So I thought I'd share them with you. And at the end of this video, I'm going to talk about the GoFundMe campaign, which is ending within just a few hours of this video, but you can still pre-order at discounted prices through the end of the year. So I'll talk about that just a little bit in case you're interested. So starting off with characters, this is a new Grail Damsel that they've put on a unicorn, which is having a very dynamic pose. We were laughing about the unicorn. What if they want to put it on a horse? And do you just play it as is and not be WYSIWYG, or do you snip off the unicorn horn, or do you snip it off and then magnetize it? Yeah, whatever. If I played against anybody who said, hey, that's not a horse, it's a unicorn, I'd probably just pack up my stuff anyway. But anyway, this is a new design for that model, which is kind of cool. On the fighty characters, he's got a Paladin, a Grail Paladin looks like. And one thing I noticed about these that they seem to do well is they add a lot of little knickknacks and doodads, is the technical term, I believe. But they're somewhat busy on the higher end knights, and I kind of like that because that's kind of how I envision they would be. I think if you paint that well, it's going to look really, really cool. I think it is going to take more time to paint him, though, to take advantage of all those things. And he's got the Green Knight. This is the design for the horse of it. So again, very dynamic. Lots of barding, some armor, lots of intricate, almost woodsy look and feel to it. And then with the guy on top, it looks like that. So actually, I'm a big fan of the old Games Workshop Green Knight model. I think this one surpasses it. I mean, it probably should surpass it. It's 20 years newer in design. Very, very cool. And then one of the new entries in the Kingdom of Equitaine book is the Castellan, which I think has just kind of a really very cool look to it. Doesn't look very distinguishable from a knight. Looks just kind of like a big BA peasant on horse and on foot. And one thing I thought was interesting about this was he said that they had an original design for Castellan that just didn't look big and bad enough. And that was this one. So this was their original Castellan, and they were like, it just, yeah, it's kind of Robin Hood looking. He looks whatever, but they wanted to beef it up to where it looked more like a character, more like a tribal leader in a kind of a war-torn world might look like. So there's that. So this guy is now they just converted it to be one of the fast cavalry units. What do they call that? Yeoman Outriders, I think, to go along with these guys. So these are another ones I'm really excited about because I have the old Games Workshop model. It's really the same model that I've duplicated 5 times. I want more than one unit of it, and so then I started customizing using old Games Workshop. What were they from the Chaos Warrior line? I'm blanking out. Anyway, using horses from there with the torso from the Bretonnian archers, and it's just a lot of work. I've seen people do it and it looks really cool. Mine were not looking cool, and the project just kind of stalled. So I'm actually pretty excited to get more models to use for that. Then we have the Peasant Crusaders, which look pretty cool. Compared to the Peasant Levy, these guys are somewhat armored. What I like about these is they actually have crossbows. I'm playing a lot of people, and I totally understand it, but they're playing old Games Workshop peasant archers and just say, hey, by the way, those are crossbows. And I'm cool with that. But for my army, if I'm going to use crossbows, I want some models where WYSIWYG is there, so I like that. The other true men-at-arms, the Peasant Crusaders, again, very somewhat dynamic looking, a variety of poses. I like it. Then we have the Peasant Levy, which are much more dirty and grungy, much less armor. They can take a shield, but otherwise they look like peasants. And again, I see there's just kind of a nice variety here. Then we have the the Sacred Reliquary. I think no matter anybody, lots of people could sit down and design this and make it look cool because it's such a cool theme, and I think they did a good job with it. So there's that. I think that's just the model itself without the guys that come with it. And another important piece is the Scorpion. Not many people have Scorpion models. I certainly don't. If I'm going to use it in my army, I'm tired of proxying something from like my Empire Sonstal army. So very, very excited to get a couple of these in there. Personally, I don't have a need for a trebuchet, although it might be nice. Mine weren't exactly duplicates of each other. And then the Knights. So their Knights, they're actually there are some intentional differences between the lower level Knights and the higher level Knights. So the Knights Aspirant, they look like they have some kind of cloth barding on, and they look like they're wearing some armor, but really for the most part, they don't look like heavily armored Knights. So just to represent them, that they're not quite as good as the other ones. One thing I thought was intriguing about this is they decided that they wanted to have the possibility of females in the army. So I think he said like 1 out of every 5 sculpts of their knights is a female, which I thought was interesting. And so it looks like here we're probably on Knights of the Realm, because you can see that it's just a little bit heavier armor, and the barding looks a little more heavy, more durable. There's that. I like that one a lot. Or a close one of a regular knight. And then we have one of the Morning Star and a lance. Stuff like, I don't know about you. Stuff like this just gets me so excited. I want to rebuy my whole Kingdom of Equitaine army. Then is Questing Knights. So the armor is, if even more durable looking, more heavier looking. There's more frills, and of course now we also have the great weapons. So I actually custom made my old Questing Knights, and I wasn't good enough at the time, or maybe not now, to do it well. So I'm actually pretty excited to replace those with models like this. And then the Grail Knights. These are as adorned up as you can get. These are nice enough you could probably use it as characters as well if you wanted to. So there's a female Grail Knight if you wanted to do that. Of course, they have the Pegasus Riders, so they had lots of artwork on this. I actually had to cut some of them out. They had so many. Of course, we have both genders represented. Yeah. Very exciting, good stuff. Flipping through them because they had so many. All the concept art that translates into the model creation. Then they have the Knights Forlorn, and I'm so excited about this. So excited. I mean, people have been asking for years that the old Bretonnians should have foot knights, and Games Workshop never did it. In the Ninth Age, they do have foot knights, and they're not used much yet. I think maybe the rules or pricing needs to be tweaked a little bit to make them more usable. But these, I think, have a very, very cool look about. I'm very excited about that. So there we go. This is actually just troubling for me because I have so many army projects going on, especially my Undying Dynasties, and to a lesser extent my Vampire Covenant. The last thing I need is a new project, but this has me so excited. There's no way I'm not going to buy a bunch of this stuff to augment my Kingdom of Equitaine army. So I asked Arthur about the campaign ending in just a few hours, and he's like, "Well, it does, but whatever. They're going to do all these things that they've either been unlocked or they raised enough money that was close enough. They're going to unlock all of these things anyway." Um, he said that the pricing that's on there now is good for anybody who orders through the month of December. After that, they just have to reevaluate. Some of the pricing might go up. More importantly, at the end of December, they're going to kind of shut down ordering. They're going to look at what they need to make, and they're going to make all that stuff. And then they're going to, before they start making more of any individual thing. So if you order in December, you can get it relatively soon. And if you wait till January, there's going to be a lag time while they fill all the old orders before they start manufacturing stuff for the new orders. So if you like this and you want to get some anytime in the near future, I would definitely recommend going to their campaign. I'll put the link to it in the description and getting it there. And if not, I hope you at least enjoyed the behind the scenes sneak peek. I certainly enjoyed kind of looking through these.